This is Jason J. Lewis, the voice of Superman on Justice League Action, and you're listening to the Krypton Report.
Up in the sky, look!
It's a bird!
It's a plane!
The Krypton Report. Welcome to the Krypton Report Podcast, presented by the Southgate Media Group.
The All Things Kryptonian podcast, including Superman and Supergirl.
We discuss games, movies, cartoons, TV shows, and comics.
Krypton Report Pod can be found on Facebook, Twitter, Skype, YouTube, and Instagram.
And if you want to drop us a line, send it to kryptonreportpod@gmail.com.
We are on Patreon under Southgate Media Group.
And our official merch page is tpublic.com. Search Krypton Report.
Now on with the show.
Welcome to the Krypton Report special, where James and I continue our comic reviews. James and I, we like to kind of build up a little bit of a collection for the Action Comics and Superman, Man of Steel. And we just, we like to get down and talk about them when we have a little bit more story to talk about than just the individual issues. One of the things we discussed was with Brian Michael Bendis' writing, it seems like each issue works, but to really have something to talk about, like you need a couple issues to fill up. So right now we're going to jump in and do a little quick Action Comics 105 and 106. So let's pop them out.
All right.
You will hear.
Open my.
James and I both, when it comes to comics, I'm very much a physical comic person. Digital comics I usually purchase when they're old and I can't find what I'm looking for anywhere, and something special.
Or they go on a really good sale on Comixology.
Yeah, that sometimes is my downfall. I think I got Superman for All Seasons, which we'll be reviewing this year as each season comes around. I think I got it for $6 or something like that.
Yeah, usually $5.99.
And I was like, man, I can't pass this up. It was too cheap.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go buy that one at the store. Go get me that and trade.
I want it in trade, and they just released a special edition last year, like a new forward. And I had that when I was going to buy it. It was like $20-some, but then I was like, $6. I was like, $6. I was like, my wife won't kill me over $6.
Right. Yeah, that's always a good thought before you go spending money.
Take it marital advice right here, guys. All right. So
hey, in a marriage, advice, good advice is always something to listen to.
And that's just a preview for James and I's updated new podcast that we will be starting. Marital advice from geek guys.
Right.
It'll be for both the male and the female. So feel free to subscribe.
Right.
So we're going to dig into Action Comics 105, Red Cloud Revealed. First page, we're getting into the Brian Michael Bendis has every issue of Action starts with somebody's desk. And it's always fun to kind of figure out, like, oh, whose desk are we at now? And just at a glance, whose desk do you think we're at?
Let's say I knew whose desk this was. I have to look at it again. At a quick glance, Falling Star. Is you know what? Honestly, I can't think of it right now. I can't remember whose desk this is or the person's name.
And you know what? That's okay. Because we're not perfect, James. We're not perfect. But, so we're looking at it, okay? It says, find Amanda Waller's contact info.
And I got distracted by children. I got 4 kids here tonight. Told the girls to go upstairs and be quiet. Sorry.
Hey, there's no need to be sorry. They didn't leave you alone.
I said, I'm talking. Go upstairs. Go play.
Talking comics, man. Here I am. What's the line in Raw Rats? Here I am talking comics, and you want to talk about chicks? What kind of man are you?
Right? I haven't seen that one in a while.
Yeah, I haven't watched it in a while either, but it was always, you had some great lines. I just love Jason Lee. I've been in the mood to watch My Name is Earl. But it says, call Ray Palmer back. Who is Red Cloud? It looks like it says, take the red eye. And we're like, okay. So we turn the page. Oh, before we turn the page, hold on. Do you see on the computer desk where it says Siegel search?
Yes.
It says girl named Naomi called.
Batman's weaknesses.
So this is really fun. You know, like the kind of stuff that they put on here. So we turn the page, and now we're in a bar.
Did we determine whose desk this was?
We're getting there.
Oh, okay. We're getting there.
And we turn the page, and there's a crook. And he's got the hero dialer. What did you think about that?
What, that anybody can be a superhero?
Yeah, like, I felt like, hey, I felt a little hurt. Like, this is all it takes. Like, I want to be a hero.
Right? Like, that's pretty easy.
Yeah, he ain't got no skill. But, so he's got the hero dialer, and he's basically trying to sell it to someone connected to Red Cloud. But that crap doesn't go down well, because over the next couple pages, he gets beat up and shot, and then the person that's there looks like Rorschach.
Yes, it does.
I mean, it's supposed to be the Question, but we know that Rorschach was kind of based off the Question, but this looks like Rorschach. I mean, this looks straight up like Rorschach.
Yeah, it really, really does. Just from the silhouette.
And it just looks like his mask isn't moving. And that's it. But,
well, as you flip a couple of pages, when Rorschach shows up, no, the Question shows up, and she tries to dial hero, and it doesn't work. So she's not happy. A lot of cussing going down.
This is like worse than a sailor. No offense to any sailors out there, but that's the expression.
Yes, sir.
You know, you never get the expression cussing like a dad with 4 kids, you know? So
yeah, absolutely. It's nice though, the crime boss here, she says, "Do you know who my friends are? Another good question. Now I have one for you too. Who is the Red Cloud?" And then it reveals him. He almost looks to have a Rorschach mask. It's almost white, but it's plain white with just shadow across it. It's not the ink blot.
Exactly.
Look.
Exactly. That's why I was like, huh? I actually did a double take because I was like, is Bendis trying to like tap into the Doomsday Clock stuff? Then I was like, wait, I'm pretty sure that's just a Question. So
right. Yeah, the trench coat, the gloves, the hat, and it said like the mask, it almost looks like a plain white mask as opposed to like a blank face, which he's more often depicted with.
So then we get the Daily Planet. Who is Red Cloud? In a world overrun with aliens, mutations, colorful characters of every walk of life, the last whispered in shadows of the teeming streets of Metropolis. And then that's Clark typing, who then gets interrupted. And so, looking at this page, do you find the last panel on the right-hand side to be a little off?
Like with Clark taking off his glasses and sitting back?
Yep. Cleanium.
Yep.
That's strike one, Bendis, in this book right here. Okay? Clark would never take his glasses off to clean them, revealing his face without them. Okay?
Yeah.
He would never do that.
No, not publicly in front of people. I mean, the glasses is his disguise in the newsroom.
So Clark gets a call from the new deputy chief of Metropolis Fire, Melody Moore. And Clark, answers. He's like, we have a mutual friend. And he's like, okay, mutual friend. She's like, yes. Hey. All right. We cut back to. Do they have a name? Like I want to call them the Red Cloud Gang, but do they have another name?
I'd have to go back and see, because I mean they're nameless. I forget what the name of the group is called. Kind of feel unprepared now.
I thought I had it in my notes, but I don't. But anyways, we got the hero dialer, and it's inside the tank with that group. And then the next page is Chief Moore meeting Clark Kent. And Clark's just talking to her, he says, off the record. And so he's like, okay, I don't know. Clark just doesn't feel super Clarky to me. I don't know. Then we get, she's telling a story about being at a mayor's meeting, the Batman ball type thing.
Yeah, the Diamond and Pearl Gala.
Yep, and Wonder Woman's there. And she's telling Clark that the mayor of Metropolis seems like he's up to something suspicious. And
yeah, he tells the chief to quit with the investigation into the fires. Basically what the first 3 issues or so was about.
Yep.
The fire of Action Comics, the fires that usually coincided with some kind of crime while Superman was busy doing that. But the mayor tells her to stop the investigation, basically saying that when people like Superman and Batman get involved, then the investigation has become tainted.
Exactly. It's
or at least using that as an excuse.
Trying to discredit them.
Mm-hmm.
So Clark tells her, you did right to call me. And she walks off. Clark turns around, does his shirt rip, and starts to fly off. And he uses his X-ray vision to see the mayor laying in his office on the floor. And then...
it's like he's passed out drunk with a bottle.
Yep. And he's like... We get a shot of Clark's eyes, something. He's looking, and then the red cloud starts to go up his nose and then surround him and attack him. We get a really big splash page of just him standing there with the red cloud all around. Uses his super breath as he's fighting a red cloud. Then he takes off flying. I mean, what's neat is these pages are no dialogue. It's just pictures.
Mm-hmm.
And then red cloud starts to form and says, well, damn, I just went face to face against the greatest of all time and I live to tell the tale. I can chase off Superman. So red cloud's becoming human, and on the last page, we see who Red Cloud is.
Robinson Good.
Were you surprised? Were you shocked? Or did you even care?
I was surprised because we had talked about the fact that not sure if it was 3 or 4,
mm-hmm.
Where Candy was killed by Red Cloud with her in the room, physically in the room.
Mm-hmm.
So seems like she can create more of a mist without becoming a full-bodied cloud.
Yeah, I got some questions as we go on with it, but I mean, I don't know. I just was like, okay, new villain, just as new person shows up, like, big deal, like, I'm not impressed, like, I don't know. I would have liked it to be, it'd been more interesting almost if it had been Deputy Moore.
Right.
So I don't know. I just was not like, oh my gosh, that's so crazy. I was like, okay, so you invented a new villain and you invented
two new villains, Bendis.
Yeah, the same person. I don't know.
I mean, this was a, this was a good book, a good read just for, I mean, like wherever the hero dialer comes from, that's something new to me. But, it shows that with the question involved, that Superman isn't the only one interested in who the Red Cloud is, and perhaps the people behind the organized crime. I mean, I don't think they've gotten that far yet. It doesn't seem like they've gotten that far yet. It's just they're looking for Red Cloud. But eventually they'll come to find out that there's this underground organized crime syndicate that's still operating.
I like the way Action is for the most part, but part of me almost wishes that Action would just stay more grounded and be almost more of Clark the reporter with Superman, while Superman is, Superman. But we never know whose desk that is. Do you think it was Clark's desk? I mean...
Well, there's a picture in the corner of a framed picture of a person, and I mean, to me, the picture looks like maybe an older African American male. So maybe it's Robinson's desk, because she's also a reporter. She's not like tabloid reporter or anything.
Yeah.
So she's along the lines of an investigative journalist. So, well, actually, you know what? The coffee cup says Robinson. So yeah, that's Robinson Good's desk.
Were they trying to fool us, Bendis? Huh? Were you?
Well, hopefully there's something in the pictures. I think there always has been. That would tell you whose desk that they're working on, that they're opening on.
All right, so that leads us to Action Comics 106, which is going to open up with a new desk. Are you ready to venture into 106 and find out the new desk?
Yes, let me slip this one out here. All right. Not hard to figure out whose desk this is.
All right, so let's open up and find out.
Sound like you're thinking hard there.
Let's see, what does it say? Young Justice is back. Why? Any other cool stuff? Teen Beat. Hottest Men in Trunks. So the Trunks are back. We see Guardian, Batman and Superman. Martian Manhunter sex scandal. That's just creepy. Super Love Triangle. So yeah, this
I think she's got her own picture on her wallpaper there. So
yeah, she does. So
Trish Q, gossip columnist for the Daily Planet. It's Trish Q's desk.
So I like that we're getting to see kind of like the Daily Planet, people at the same time. So it's just kind of expanding the world. So the next page is the mayor with a bunch of children who are all dressed up as different members of the Justice League. And he's trying to get out of it. And then we find out he's like a hypochondriac. He hates charity. He hates event. And then who shows up? Clark Kent. And, he kind of like ambushes the mayor. And it's just kind of funny because like he ambushes the mayor. He's trying to talk. And it looks like Clark steps on someone's foot. He's like, ow. He says, sorry. And then Clark gets the mayor kind of riled up with his questions. And they try to throw back in Clark's face the whole Lois thing. The Lois was seen when at Lex Luthor. And then the mayor gets in the limo and is driving away. And then the mayor decides to start talking. Which Clark has his super hearing, so Clark might not be able to report on it. But Superman can.
Right.
So I thought that was cool. Like, I like seeing Clark using Superman's abilities. Yes, they're the same person. I'm not talking like I don't know that, but I'm just saying I like seeing.
Well, it's nice, I mean, he's able to get the scoop that you wouldn't be able to get without his hearing and his X-ray vision and stuff, So, I mean, even if he can't particularly say, yeah, this person said this, it wasn't caught on the record. It gives him more to go on and more to investigate.
So I like how if you look at the picture, like he's got a smile. He's walking down an alley, starts to open his shirt, and we see a kid sitting there. And like in the one panel, he kind of says, shh, don't tell, and takes off. And the kid's just looking up. He just saw Superman. I thought that was pretty cool. But
right. He came down without his glasses on and his shirt open. It's not like, hey, you're Clark Kent. Oh, and you're Superman too, taking off.
And I mean, I always like the idea that Clark's a good reporter, but Clark's never about himself. He's never trying to draw attention to himself. He does just enough to get by without being like, hey, we know who that guy is.
Right.
That's why I
like to think that Clark developed that personality, over time. Like It wasn't like straight away just because you were told not to draw attention to yourself that you don't draw attention to yourself.
I had this idea of like, wouldn't it be kind of neat if there was like a story where Batman goes to learn acting from like a renowned acting coach to create the character of Bruce Wayne, whereas Clark goes shortly later to the same coach to create the character of reporter Clark Kent. Like, certain acting techniques and stuff to make this version of yourself into a character. And what they kind of struggle and go through. So.
Right.
So we have Robinson with Perry White, and she's interacting with him, talking about, Red Cloud. And Kent shows up, talking to Jimmy. And Jimmy's just kind of talking a little bit, and Kent looks like he's not really paying attention. And Clark's looking at Good with his X-ray vision. And he doesn't see really anything.
Right. Well, he obviously is suspicious. One, she had kryptonite at an earlier point. And then two, she's talking about the Red Cloud here.
Mm-hmm.
There were witnesses head to toe. And, obviously Clark's going to pay attention to that. He's going to pay attention to who saw what.
Well, yeah,
he's got some suspicions.
Yeah, who are these witnesses? Like, who saw me? Like, what was that? Like, who saw this? And then if you're watching in the Jimmy bubbles, he said he makes a thing. That's why I think sleeping with Talia al Ghul was a huge mistake. But everyone is saying, I don't really like the idea of Jimmy sleeping with Talia al Ghul.
You wonder if he's just trying to say some kind of story, pull something crazy out to see if Kent's listening to him or not.
That's kind of how I would take it, because in the next thing, if you notice, Kent walks away and Jimmy just kind of throws up his cards.
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy's not the coolest guy.
Yeah, no. Talia al Ghul, she's a trained assassin. There's no way that she would look twice at Jimmy.
Sorry, Jimmy. Sorry, buddy.
Yeah. just the way it is. He's not her type. She's definitely more of the she's definitely looking for more of the tall, dark, and dangerous type.
So now we get Miss Debbie Chief Moore leaving, and she's getting her bicycle when Red Cloud shows up and attacks her. And Superman uses a super breath to, get rid of Red Cloud to get her to go back.
Yeah, she's choking her out, about to kill her, and Superman shows up.
And I like this speech he gives, and I'm going to read it. We have Superman in the foreground with Miss Moore behind him. He says, "I don't think I've given you a fair warning, Miss Cloud, so consider this. Stop." Red Cloud responds, "Big talk, alien. We both know what happened last time we tussled." So she comes at him, and he's using a super breath, heat vision, flying around. And she says, "Taste my poison, Boy Scout. Things are going to change around here." Stand off, see? You're not in foul. And he, woof. And then he says, "Take a step back and think about the path you're on. This is Metropolis. A lot of people have stood where you are right now." And Red Cloud yells, "How about die, alien?" And she kind of attacks. And then we get a scene of her spinning and him blowing air. And
yeah, I think she went on the attack, and he started doing a tornado move and blowing her around, just kind of dispersing her cloud a little bit.
So this is straight up Superman right here. So James, I'll read Miss Moore's lines, and you can read Superman's. Okay? I'll be the character of Miss Moore.
Okay.
Can't you blow her up into space or something?
No. Well, I could.
She did try to kill me.
Let's teach her to do better by example.
Oh, beep! That. Sorry.
You have an amazing gift. If you're stuck in the middle of something, it happens. I'll help you get out. If you need help, I will help you. You can start repaying your debts to society by helping me shut whatever all this is down. I was going to say that a great many interesting and powerful people have stood exactly where you are right now, and they made the same mistake of taking my empathy for weakness. And more importantly, they forgot that just behind me, there are all kinds of characters just waiting who do not have my patience. You can turn this around. I know you can.
That's straight up Superman. He is trying to give her the option. And so Red Cloud leaves. He asks her, he's like, "Are you okay, Miss Moore?" Blah, blah, blah. And then she kind of has a moment where she pauses, and then she just she grabs him and hugs him. And I'm just gonna say right now, if Bendis tries to pull something and has Superman trying to cheat on Lois or something, I'm done. Okay.
Yeah, right.
I'm gonna revolt, man. So that's where
you done screwed up, Bendis.
Yeah, I'm
get him off. Put another person on the bug.
James and Tyler are ready.
If that happens, I'm okay with things as they are progressing right now.
So
they're a little,
slow. And
slow,
a little predictable.
Yeah, long time to tell a story.
And I don't like when you bring in a new character and then you like the new character's like the big reveal. Like, didn't see it coming, did you? Yeah, it was the only other new person around. It's like an episode of Scooby-Doo.
Yeah. Well, I mean, throughout granted, action is different than the Superman books have been. So action has had some good character moments with the majority of the characters involved, new and old. They've all had dialogue. They've all they all had to have some character time. It wasn't just from like one action scene to the next, which we got like 5 books of that from Superman. Yeah. 5 issues of that.
I don't mind the character moments. Honestly, I don't. So now we get into a interesting.
Yeah, it wasn't a knock. It wasn't a knock on the book. Action. I've enjoyed action story more than I've enjoyed Superman's story. The art in Superman's better, but little here, little there.
Yeah, I agree. So now we're back in like the bar place, and basically we kind of find out there's a person above, like running the organization, and this character right here, you know who she reminds me of?
Who's that?
She reminds me of Mariah from Luke Cage.
Ah.
The way she talks about Metropolis is her place, her this, and how the Blue Boy Scout came and he changed the rules and he didn't ask permission. And this is my place, and Robinson's like, did you know I could go toe to toe? And she's like, baby, maybe, I don't know. They're talking smack to Soups. But the interesting part
she gives her a little history of her coming up from nothing, from suicide slums to running the organization. I think part of the interesting part here is, they all have their code names. And so she's got something spelled out on a pad, on like a tablet, to introduce herself while they're just having a conversation. It says, my name is Leon.
Uh-huh.
Add that to the list of things we never say.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of keywords that the silent mafia, isn't that what it's called? The invisible mafia.
There we go. That's what we were looking for.
Yeah.
And then we find out that she just bought the Daily Planet, and she has the car that's on the cover of Action Comics #1 that Superman crashes into the Rock.
Which is quite interesting. Like how does the car from the 30s, the late 30s?
Man, we've had how many crises now? Okay,
right.
I just rationalize that somebody was driving an old car. But also, where was it in Action Comics 1000 that Jeff Johns did the story about the mechanic fixing the car?
Yeah.
So I got my right now with Action Comics 1000, and that's going to come up in that's going to come up when we review Superman issue 7.
Right. See, yeah, Action Comics 1000 kind of doesn't seem.
It's like,
to me, it doesn't seem like it's like
it's not
an issue to say it's connected to what came before, or the immediate story that's come before, or to launch the story that comes right after, except for, obviously Bendis's chapter, which was just basically, which I've kind of wondered if in like the Man of Steel trade, if they put that chapter in where it's supposed to go.
Yeah.
inside of the Man of Steel trade, because it's one chapter lifted out of somewhere in the middle and dropped in there just to be like, oh, what's happening? And then, but obviously it's supposed to be in there. It's like, you got to get up to a point in Man of Steel in the issues, stop reading, go to issue 1000, Action 1000, read that chapter, and then go back to Action or Man of Steel and keep reading.
And you know what? One thing I would like to see happen in this run, since we have the big revelation that Jor-El's still alive, I was thinking about this. I want to see like what would happen if Jor-El met Jonathan Kent. Like, Pa Kent, Jonathan Kent.
Mm.
But yeah. So
Look up in the sky.
Look up in the sky.
Look up in the sky.
you can find us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook at Krypton Report. You can also email us at kryptonreportpod@gmail.com. If you get a chance to go over to iTunes, please leave us a review to help us get better. If you're an Amazon shopper, just remember you can go to southgatemediagroup.com. There's a portal, log into Amazon, and you'll shop into your account just regular, but it also helps keep all the podcasts on and helps keep Southgate running. Remember, look up in the sky.